Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of the practice challenge of the diminished 6 scale. All right, so by now you should be starting to get your head around the scale, which is good. Now yesterday, well, by the way, you can go download the workbook if you haven't already, but I would check out day 1, day 2 if you have just seen this particular YouTube tutorial for the first time. Yesterday we did it in contrary motion. Now I would suggest that if you haven't already practiced, day 1, day 2 today, I would go and do just really quickly with right hand or left hand going up and down every single scale of the 12 diminished 6 scales, and then I would do contrary motion as well. Do that just one more time, and then get into today's lesson. All right, so this is today's lesson, and so we're going to do them all. Now, I did debate between me, myself, and I as to whether or not I would add in, that I would write all of them out for you, or just have this example in the key of C, and then allow you to work it out for yourselves. And that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to just. I did debate on that. So and I think sometimes it's better when you have to work it out. Now I know that can be a little bit frustrating as well, to some extent, but I really do think it's going to help you to be able to internalize this now, not just memorize it, but internalize it and kind of know what's going on. I'm going to play them all. So you can see what they are, and also talk about it a little bit. But anyway, here's what it's going to sound like. All right, and then we come back down, right? All right, now what's happening is basically we're alternating between a C6 chord or some kind of option of a C6 chord. Not all the notes of a C, I mean that's not C6, right? But that belongs in C6. That looks like kind of an A minor chord, right? But it also belongs in A6, C6, right? So it's alternating between that and some kind of variation of a diminished chord as well. All right, so, and when we go into tomorrow, we're going to play them in root position, so as 6 chords like that, and we're going to see that we're going to swap between C6 every time and a diminished chord. When we do our 7ths a little bit later, instead of starting on the 6th, but we start on the 7th, we're going to see a whole bunch of awesome, incredible sounds coming out, and that's a little bit more complicated, probably a little bit more fun in my opinion. But anyway, let's do this because we're trying to get to know it really well and in all keys, and not go straight into kind of trying to play these chords, right? If we go straight into that, we will probably it's just going to be a little bit too hard, and we'll kind of miss some of the fundamentals. All right, so let's do this. So we're kind of doing contrary motion plus a third on the top. So we've got a C chord here. We end up having a B diminished there. All right, it's like an A minor 7, but still C6, right? All right, now it's only 2 notes, so it kind of looks like an F minor or something like that. But here, these are the notes that it's kind of drawing from, right? But it's only using those 2 there. All right. Again, they're 2 of the notes from the C6 chord, diminished again. All right, now just remember as you do it, that the diminished 6 scale just has that lowered 6 in there every time. So you just got to remember in the key of C, and I've heard Barry Harris talk about this in his workshops all the time. He just says, he's like, A flat follows G, right? So he's talking about, like if you're normally going up like this, he's just like A flat follows G, all right? So every time you play G, the next note's A flat. Well, there's my G, next note's A flat, right? So that's a way of thinking about it as we do this, right? All right, G, so next note, right? There's my G. So that's kind of the idea, right? All right, let's practice it together. All right, you might want to have a go, press pause, and then, let's practice it together. So let's do this together. 2 beats. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2. All right, you're really starting to get to know the key now, aren't we? And that's why we're doing it over 10 days. Not doing all in one go, all right? So let's move on. Now, remember I debated about writing them all out for you? I haven't done that, all right? But what I have done here is I've put up the cycle of fourths for us. Okay, so we're going to go C, F, B flat. There's the first 6, and then we're going to keep going. So, all right, so let's look at F. So I would encourage you to do the scale again and maybe do it in contrary motion. And then have a go at it, right? So we've got the F and the A. The next chord's a diminished chord. That can kind of help you as you think about it. The next chord's going to be like part of F6 in some ways, okay? All right, that makes sense? Hopefully it does. All right, now remember this. In this case, it's the D flat, right? So we're going to another diminished one, right? So we've got the B flat. All right. It's interesting we have here, we're talking about a third, but it's not a third, right? That's not a normal third, is it? But in this case, we're just really talking about skipping a note, and because there's an extra note, there's a chromatic note kind of chucked in there. That's why we've got that going on there. So, all right, and then, so of course we're in the key of F, so we've got a B flat there, so we've got another diminished chord. All right, so. All right, and then of course we come back down, okay? All right, here's F. Hopefully this helps you to see all of them. All right, here's B flat. All right, E flat, here we go. 2, 3, 4. All right, A flat. 1, 2, 3, 2 beats each. 1, 2, 4. No shame in getting it slow and really getting to know it. Almost at the halfway mark here, all right? All right, D flat, 1, 2, 3, 4. right, you might have noticed I'm looking down too. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm making sure that I'm not memorizing from sheet music. All right, so I got to practice what you preach, right? So I didn't put the sheet music on purpose for you guys, and I'm not putting the sheet music up in front of myself on purpose, because it's got to be internalized, right? So I'm thinking about the actual notes. I'm thinking about the scale that I know, the major scales which I know so well, but then adding in that flattened six and just kind of working out the combinations as we go, rather than just kind of reading the notes. I'm a fairly fluent sight reader because I play classical music as well, so I could just kind of, if it was written down, I could just read it and play it. But I don't think I'd be internalizing it. I'd just literally be playing it, right? So from the sight reading. All right. So let's keep moving. All right, let's go on to G flat, which is of course F sharp as well. All right, as you're playing, one other tip is keep thinking about that second chord as a diminished chord. So of course you're looking for that flattened six all the time, and you're thinking, okay, after the 5 comes the flattened 6, or after the 6 comes the flattened 5. You've got to keep remembering that. But also you can remember every second chord's a diminished chord. That can help you too as you think about that. All right, here we go. G flat. 2, 3, 4. The other thing I think about too is in the middle there's that major second. Here comes the major second. And that kind of helps me as well to remember what it is. All right, B, I don't know about you, but it's getting easier for me, after each scale, even as I'm practicing it now, and I haven't practiced this many times, right? So it is getting a little bit easier. All right, so hopefully it is for you as well. All right, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Get that rhythm internalized. Probably should be practicing with a metronome. So that's exactly right. All right, so let's have a go at E. So I've just done the old kind of practicing it, and then of course it's a bit of contrary motion practice as well. All right, so now we're on to the thirds. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Last one there. I might leave that in anyway. All right. Okay, let's do A. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, diminished back to major. Some part of that A6 chord. All right, let's do D. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. All right, let's do G. Well done, guys. You've made it. All right, so let's give it a go. All right, remember the G. The E flat is our 6. Here we go. F sharp's in G, of course. You know, let's do it. All right, here we go. 3, 4. There you go. That's all 12 of them. If you needed that, then hopefully that helps you. All right, so I would practice that at the moment daily. Now, it shouldn't take you long to play, one scale, so, and then do the contrary motion of that now, and then do the thirds, Oops. All right, and then tomorrow, we build on that. All right, so guys, all the best. I'll see you real soon, and well done. Well done.